question, 20 years from now, when you are my age, because so many of the people who watch my channel are in their teens, early 20s, when you're closer to 40, will your generation be a generation who is more consumed with hair loss? I've pointed out that men my age and older, typically their lives were not wrecked by hair loss. You don't hear these testimonials of men in their late 30s and beyond who explain that their whole life fell apart or never even got started because they didn't have hair, because they started balding in their younger years. You don't hear those stories. And I think a lot of it has to do with the generations. I think because my generation did not grow up psychologically, all the things being wired in our brains and our codes being written while having to, where's my phone where I do my impression? I'll have it where I do the thing where I'm constantly looking for confirmation from everyone. My generation in their youth didn't do that. There was not an abundance of pornography in our youth as far as just on your phones or computers and all that. So it's a different generation, and so what I'm saying is, because there's a generational difference, I think men my age and older will deal with it. We'll shave our heads and it's fine. But I think that can't be said by the time you're my age. I think by the time you're my age, we're gonna have a generation who is in their 40s and is still troubled by hair loss and is still trying to save their hair because that generation is part of their identity. Whereas me, I'm the oldest year you can be a millennial, born in 1981. Depending on what you Google, a lot of the times millennial generation will start around 1983, but other sources say 1981. I was the first generation to where I started college in the 2000s, and that's one of the ways it's defined. So beyond my generation though, after the millennials are done, and now we've got the next generation after me, and will that generation, no matter what age they are, always be obsessed and concerned and anxious and depressed about hair loss in a way that my generation wasn't, and men in every generation before me was not? How much of this is a generational issue? I think a lot of it is. So ultimately, I'm predicting that your generation, when you're my age, you're going to be collectively worried about hair loss in a way that my generation is not, and generations before me were not. What do you think about that right here?